Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica Wiggins and I make videos on how to be successfully single. Because before you can be successfully married, you should first try to be successfully single, meaning you are healthy and happy standing alone first. I didn't get married till I was 33. I understand the struggles of singleness. But the truth is, before I could be successfully married, I had to first learn how to be successfully single. All right, that's a long enough intro. Let's jump right in. Today I have a video for you on 3 mindset shifts for the new year. It can be so easy when we're single to get bogged down into a negative mindset and to believe different lies about our season of singleness. Mindset shift number 1, life is happening for me, not life is happening to me. It can be so easy when you're single to just feel like you have no control over what's happening in your life with where you saw your life going by this point in your life, or where you thought you would be, or where you want to be. And to some degree, it's true that you don't have that control, of when you'll finally meet the right person and settle down and get married. But to another degree, that's not true. And the point of this video is not to preach to you about taking responsibility for your choices in life. That's not really the point I'm going with right now. I'm simply just trying to say that you have to believe good things will come into your life instead of giving into victim mentality, thinking I'm helpless, I'm hopeless, I have no control over the chaos in my life, or any kind of negative thinking like that. So to get this mindset shift to believe life is happening for me, not to me, good things are coming into my life, I think there's a couple things you have to do. 1, you have to ditch victim mentality. And 2, you have to create a life you love. So with victim mentality, that's when you think I'm helpless, I'm hopeless. And I know for me in my late 20s when I was single, I felt that. And I was struggling with some depression, and I was meeting with a therapist, and she really confronted me about giving into victim mentality. And I really had to face myself because I was making it seem like I had no control over the chaos in my life. And that obviously is not the case for anyone. So are you doing this at all? Are you blame shifting for bad choices? Or are you feeling helpless, hopeless, woe is me? You might have to face yourself this new year. I want to tell you, you are not helpless and you are not hopeless. Reach out for help if you're needing help and hang on to hope. All right, and the second thing you've got to do is create a life you love, which means you do the things you love with the people you love, or you do the things you love even if you have to do them by yourself. I remember when I was single in my 20s, I missed so many opportunities to do the hobbies I love because I would hold back because I didn't have anyone to do those hobbies with. I lived in Missouri for a few years. I lived in Alabama for a year, and these are beautiful states with a lot of beautiful outdoor activities, which is my favorite hobby, to go hiking and do outdoor activities. And I missed a lot of opportunities. I only went a few times hiking, a couple times with girlfriends, and a couple times by myself with my dog. And I could have gone so many more times, and I really regret that. So it wasn't until I was 29, 30 that I finally learned how to just go do the activities I love by myself. And so at that age, I would purpose myself. I was living home in Florida at that time. I would purpose myself every weekend to go kayaking or paddleboarding with my dog, most of the time by myself. Only a couple of times did a girlfriend join. So I want to challenge you to do the things you love and consider finding a meetup group or joining a community league if there's a sport you love or there's an activity you love that you can find other people to do with. Okay, the second mindset shift is the mentality that I'm all in and I'm not holding back. This goes along with the last one about not holding back with hobbies, but now I'm really talking about not holding back with your dreams. One of the purposes of your single season is to pursue your dreams. But I know a lot of singles who hold back here because they thought that dream they were going to pursue, whether it's the dream of building a business or the dream of buying a house, they thought they were going to pursue that dream with their spouse. And so they're holding back, waiting, thinking, well, one day I'll do that with my spouse. But in the meantime, they're missing the opportunity and all of this time to pursue that dream. I know one of my girlfriends and I were talking about how we held back in major decisions in our 20s because we thought, well, what if I meet someone? We felt like we couldn't make this major commitment because we thought, what if I meet someone in this time? And you know what? Neither one of us met someone in our 20s. And so there were big decisions we held back on or dreams we didn't pursue that we could. I was a missionary when I was single in my 20s for 10 years. And every year I would sign this form to re-sign on as a missionary associate, meaning I was under a career missionary mentor. And this commitment, missionary associate, was a 1 to 2 year commitment. And every year I remade the commitment for 10 years. Now it kind of makes you wonder, why didn't I just make the career move and become a career missionary, which was a 3 to 4 year commitment? But for me, I just felt like that was such a big commitment. And I also felt like I really wasn't ready to. And there's some validity to that because I liked being under a missionary mentor and I didn't really feel ready for that huge commitment. And looking back, I don't think I was ready because, to be honest, when I was in my 20s, I was very emotionally unhealthy. And I remember meeting a girl who I had gone through missionary training with, and we were both missionary associates at the same time. But then after that 2 year commitment overseas, we were both overseas in Asia, but in different countries. After that, she made the decision to go career. And when I talked to her about it, I was just like in awe. I was like, wow, here you are, a single woman in your 20s, making this huge commitment to go career missionary for this 3 to 4 year commitment at a time. I couldn't believe it because for me, I felt like there was no way I could do that. Okay, and the second example I have for you is when I was 26 and I bought a house. And I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I didn't hold back. Even though it was a little sad for me when I fixed up and sold that house because, first of all, I fixed it up by myself with friends. And I was sad because I had thought by then I would have had a man in my life and I still didn't. And I was sad that nothing ever happened for me as far as getting married and having kids while I was in that home, while I owned that home for 4 years. And so it was a little sad for me, but God's faithfulness really shows through this story because when I sold my house and I made money off of it, it ended up paying for my wedding. And so it was a beautiful story of God's provision for me through buying that home, even though it wasn't the provision that I thought it was going to be as far as like raising kids in that home, you know? So what is that dream that you want to pursue? Is it starting a business or buying a house or traveling? Traveling is another one. I know so many singles who have these dream trips that they want to take and they're like, one day I'm going to go to Italy or Paris with my husband. And it's like, hey, you've been single all these years. Why don't you just plan the trip now? Like, plan the trip with girlfriends or with guy friends or with a travel group. Go solo, but do that trip or pursue that dream that's in your heart to do. Okay, the third mindset shift is the mindset that God is for me. It can be so easy when we're Christians to say that we believe God is for us, but not live like we believe God is for us. And we will doubt God's goodness, or we will believe the lie of the enemy that God is holding out on us. You might even be believing lies about your season of singleness, like, oh, God is punishing me. That is not true. It can be so easy to doubt his goodness and give into endless worry. But I want to tell you, there is nothing wrong with God and there is nothing wrong with you. So you have to stop believing these lies like, God is just going to say no to my desire to marry, or God is punishing me and that's why I'm single. Or lies about yourself like, I'm too jacked up, or I missed it, or there's only one person for me and I'm going to miss it. Let me tell you, if there's only one person for you, then it's on God for you to meet that person, not on you. And he's going to make sure that you don't miss it. God is good and he gives us the desires of our heart. It says in Psalm 37:4. I have a mindset worksheet for you on my website. If you go to ericawiggins.com, there's a little blue box toward the top where you can sign up with your email to get this download. And it's really going to help you to address some of those lies or wrong questions that you might be asking or believing about God, yourself, singleness, and marriage. And so I have a 4-step guide for you to bring some transformation to your mindset for this year, 2023. If you want to read more in detail about mindset, I have the first 2 chapters of my book, Successfully Single, for free on my website. You can just go to ericawiggins.com/book. And there at the bottom, scroll to the bottom, you can sign up with your email to receive the first 2 chapters of my book free, all about mindsets. Okay, so I want you to think about this upcoming year, 2023. What dream do you want to pursue? What hobby do you want to get back to doing that you miss? I want you to tell me down in the comments below, what are you going to pursue or do in 2023 that you have been holding back on? All right, so in sum for this video, mindset shift number 1, life is happening for me, not to me. You've got to ditch victim mentality and create a life you love. Mindset number 2, I'm all in, I'm not holding back. And mindset shift number 3, God is for. All right, so for next week, I've been debating between 2 different video ideas, and I want you to tell me down in the comments below which idea you think I should go with. The first is 3 tips for managing loneliness. And the second one is a little Hanukkah special on God's provision and sharing my story of how God provided a spouse for me, because Hanukkah is all about God's provision. If you like this content and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe.